Good day, I'm Ikslorin, and some of this might end up sounding quite harsh, but I'd rather want to just explain to you what is going to happen in the next few months, and especially why, rather than just keeping you in the dark. I mean, I don't want to pull off a husky on you. So, first of all, before anything else, I really want to emphasize just how proud I am, actually, to have been doing all of this for what is now 2.5 years. Yes, 2.5 years ago was pretty much roughly, at least, when I put out the video of me actually starting creating content. And since then, except for one minor break, there's been content all the time, and this has just been something really great. And I've met so many wonderful people, I've worked with so many wonderful people, and also just been hearing from so many amazing ones too. It really is just one adventure that I'm really glad to have started. And what is just so nice about this project, and to have as a hobby, is that you not only just learn to have a new skill. I mean, I would say at least that my English has improved quite immensely over the last year or so. At least that's how it feels. And I also am getting better at like 2D graphics, because I've been doing that a lot for this whole channel. But not only that, but also just with every video, I'm able to finish and putting them up with the feeling that I've created some good content, something of high quality, something that I can be proud of. But, well, that feeling also, though, is what has been missing lately, to be honest. For the last few months, I've been pretty much all alone with the help of co-shoutcasts, has been covering as much of the Nations Cup as absolutely humanly possible. And we're talking about roughly 20 hours of shoutcasting. Also considering the work going in just before the video, in preparations, and also after the video with editing it and putting up on YouTube and taking care of all of that. You can probably easily put that up to 50 or 60 hours going in. And then on top of all of that, I spent countless nights and evenings programming a piece of software to handle the overlay that you're also watching on the stream. So for that, let's just say, take a lower number and say it was certainly at least 15 hours spent on that. Could probably, I haven't put count in, but it could also probably be 20 or 25. The point, no matter what, is that I've spent countless hours on this whole hobby. And I do all of this also while studying at the university for more hours than is probably healthy. I volunteer as a tutor to help new students get equipped with the life at the university. I am also just starting now a job as a teaching assistant, where I also have 10 hours there each and every week to teach and help a class through one of the courses. And well, I mean, on top of that, I have also just other hobbies and obligations to go for. I mean, I've just also started swing dancing, as I've also been talking about on some of the shoutcasts. And well, I mean, all of that is already. I mean, you should probably say, well, that's quite a lot, yeah, and it is. And the last quarter, I've actually been like catching myself or noticing myself. I didn't really do much about it, but I've noticed myself pretty much only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep every day for several weeks in a row, and that is certainly very unhealthy. And I noticed myself jerking myself awake every few minutes while I've been halfway freezing. So with the drama after me turning off the hidden information, I have effectively been pressured into creating content that I at least feel is not as good as it was before. Something that I can't really argue for myself is the best I can make. And since then also, probably even more important than that, I've had to been dealing with outright hateful comments or just passive aggressive comments in the chat and other places with the 26th of March, the finals for the Nations Cup was played. And that was also the first shoutcast in months where I wasn't actually on the commentary, because I was doing something else. I was, as the first person, asked if I wanted to join by 7 of 9, but I couldn't, sadly. We had spring cleaning over at the dorm. And well, since I wasn't on the commentary and I didn't really say anything in chat, people thought that was a good opportunity to just take a jab at me. And I mean, with that, the last month has pretty much just been 1,000 paper cuts, fueling my inner voice, just saying that I'm not doing well enough. Especially a good example, if you want to see the difference, is if you look actually over on Canada versus Italy, because that game was not actually shown live. That one was only made for YouTube itself, and because I mean that game was played simultaneously with another game being played, because everyone thought it was a good idea to just play the game all at 21. Well, I mean, if that was the best time they could, I don't blame them. Nevertheless, the point is though that it wasn't done live. It was done at my own time, and it was only me purely focusing on a good game and creating what I felt like was a good product. So if you compare that to any of the other ones, you will probably see quite a difference in just the enjoyment and the energy just being put into that one shoutcast. I mean, that is probably the one shoutcast where I was jumping out of my seat afterwards, feeling energized, rather than actually just feeling like a lump of, well, unenergetic, completely drained human mess. Okay, that is maybe a little bit too hard a way of saying it, but nevertheless, the point is still that I was just able to purely focus on a good game, rather than actually, before pressing the live button, having to just take a deep breath and brace myself for hateful comments in chat. And, well, yeah. So, I mean, one way of putting this is really just that, at least for Urban Terror shoutcasting, this just in some ways doesn't feel like it actually is mine anymore. That I do not in some way own and control my own content. That is at least the feeling I have. But the whole problem is that since this whole channel is first and foremost my own hobby that I do in my spare time for my own enjoyment and fulfillment, that enjoyment and fulfillment also takes first priority above anything else. And I really need to feel the energy and pride coming from creating a good product again, of which I feel it just belongs to me and comes from me and not from anyone else. So I just need a break. I just need a break from shoutcasting Urban Terror until I again feel like it is something that is my own, of my own creation. That is not to say that the Circle Jump podcast is going to be discontinued, at least not to my knowledge. I still have the plans to keep that going. And this will also still be content, certainly. It will not just be me cutting away all of the shoutcasts and not doing anything else. So, because I have a long to-do list actually for all I want to create for this all of the content I want to create for this channel. It was actually never the intent, despite this actually maybe having been so for the last year, but it was never the intent that this was purely going to be an Urban Terror content channel. So yeah, well, we'll see what is going to happen. I don't blame you though if you don't really want to stick around or do not want to consume parts or all of my content for any reason whatsoever. That is up to you, and you have all the reasons and all the rights to choose whatever you do. I certainly though do hope that you're going to stick around and just stay with me on this whole adventure, which hopefully will be something I can look back upon with pride, and just content that you enjoy. So thank you for watching. See you soon with whatever content that is going to be.